Tuesday. Oh, thank goodness. We made it. We made it to Tuesday. And I feel like it's a great day of the week. And because we're going to do the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk astrology. We're going to try to fit in a couple of readings today and see the energy. And so let's start at the top. You can find me at bernicebissonpsychic.com. That's my website. My social media, my podcast, and my links to A1R Psychic Radio are all there. And I'm only on Facebook. That's the only place you'll find me. Okay. Let's start at the top. I'm going to start with some of the big astrology because I'm sure if you follow astrology at all, the big conversation is the eclipse coming. I wanted to just talk about with each of the signs, the impact, real brief. I'm going to get quick and dirty on this one. Ready? All right, here we go. Okay, we've got Chiron, we've got the sun, we've got the moon, we've got Mercury retrograde, and anytime Mercury's retrograde, you gotta watch what you're saying. You gotta double check phone calls, emails, texting, all those things. Scheduling, planning, you gotta go over plans, you gotta have things in print and on your phone, or make sure you have things sort of backup plans because everybody knows Mercury retrograde is it's gonna screw us over somehow, right? And we also got Venus moving in there just to try to soften up things. But I don't know, Venus in Aries she's kind of an impatient Venus. She's like, hurry up, I want it now. I want it now. And so got all this great energy in Aries. But the big news is with this eclipse, and I want to go to sort of an old Navajo teaching around the sun, its disappearance, and then its rebirth. And in that time, we go inside our homes and we pray and we become quiet and giving thanks because it's the rebirth of our sun. And in astrology, the sun is our identity. It's the self. It's the father energy or the divine masculine energy. And joining all that energy at 19 degrees of Aries, that new moon, the moon in 19 degrees of Libra. So if I go to the Sabian symbol on that, we've got this is my Sabian symbol book, just for reference. The Magic Carpet Ride is 19 degrees of Aries. So psyche, psychedelic, psycho, psychic, and I'll come to that in a minute. And then the 19 degrees of Libra is a gang of robbers in the hiding. Well, I don't know if you've watched the news in the last few days. Well, I'm sure there's lots we can talk about with that around the gang of robbers and people getting outed in big celebrities. Hey, it's that time. We've got Saturn, which has disappeared into the sun. Saturn is structures, and Saturn's in Pisces, along with Neptune and Mars. And Mars and Saturn don't like being in Pisces anyway, but in Pisces, it's the psychedelic psyche, psychic, psycho, the psychic realm. It's all of those kind of areas. And if I think about the 12th house there is really highlighted with this eclipse energy, because we've got Chiron in Aries, we've got Venus, we've got the moon, we've got the sun, we've got the North Node of Destiny, all in this eclipse energy. And as the sun, our ego, our divine masculine, our identity as the self, goes dark and we have to look at our shadow side. That's the ticket. And with Saturn, there's no structures. It's disappeared into the sun. And we've got Pisces, we've got Neptune and Mars in there, sort of really moving forward this elusive narrative, this things that have been illusions in our life, false hope, false narratives, things we thought we believed in before, people we thought we believed in before, jobs we thought we believed in. So we're all feeling this truth that comes forward that in a sense, when we first hear it, we're like, nah. And then we realize it's healing a much deeper wound in us, and that's the chironic wound. Astrologers have talked about this for nauseating. We could talk about this for hours because it's such a deep story, but that chironic wound is around that generational trauma, things that are deep wounded within ourselves. And if I look at each of the 12 signs, because it's a rebirth of the sun, it's the death of our ego, it's us looking at our shadow side. Ugh, right? And then it's sort of that rebirth of our new beliefs, idea, our divine masculine, how we present ourselves in that ego. So there's a huge learning in all of this. And with no structures around it, I mean, people could be going on ayahuasca ceremonies. They could be going, like I know some Aries doing that, in fact, and then they could be going off into really delving into mental wellness therapies, you deep into the psyche, hypnosis, past life regressions, looking at your own psychic abilities, looking at your own relationship with thyself, thy God, right? And so it's some deep stuff, and all around healing the chronic wound. So if I go to Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, I'm going to self. They have this deep wound around, am I okay? Yes, Aries, you know what? You are. And you've had to learn a bit of patience. And here you are with this chironic wound and emerging as the new self. And you're going through this deep transformation in the ego because this is hitting you hard, right in the ego and reconstructing yourself. So it's some big stuff for you guys, Aries. Taurus, and this could be your sun, moon, or rising, not just, but if it's your sun, moon, I would pay attention to that. Okay, Taurus, it's around your possessions, what you value, what you own, and being valued, and really healing a deep chironic wound with yourself around equivalating your possessions and ownership, and having built the self instead of through partnership, maybe around your own money, your own value and possessions. And so this is a big wound for Taurus that they are healing. Then I go into Gemini, and Gemini, it's around communication with Mercury retrograde, like, oh gosh, everything from the past. Like all of this stuff from the past, and the timing of Mercury retrograde could not be better, only because it's really about past communications, ex-jobs, ex-lovers, ex-friends, ex-situations that come back to remind us of our wound, boo. And then we have a new realization and we're like, we're never going back there. That North Node in Aries, that North Node of destiny really is going to push us forward to healing this wound, healing this chironic wound over this next 18 months. This next year, we're going to really be shown this, right? But it's really kind of amping up the next 10 days or so. So you might have had tastes of it in the last little bit. Then we've got for Cancerians, it's around your home and family. Sibling group, family group, your place in the family, how I identify as family, all of that is going through a deep healing, a chironic wound, old memories, old ways, old values around family and your home are going to come to a deep realization and a deep healing. And I think it's brilliant. Then we get to Leo and we get into that house of pleasure and things that make you happy and all the fun stuff, like, patio season on a Friday afternoon in the summer. I don't know, fun events out with friends, like all this kind. So this is going to be an area of deep healing for yourself, of maybe really settling into somewhere you're now living, settling into a new place that gives you pleasure. Maybe your home, really creating it so it gives you pleasure, really making sure that pleasure is more accessible to you and that you're like, I'm not giving up my time for crap no more. And anyway, Leos, you're on that kick and I love it. It's a deep wound that you're healing. And maybe sometimes it's also okay to do nothing. That's also a big wound for Leos that they're going to learn. It's okay to do nothing. Yeah, nothing at all day. I know. Virgos, it's around your health, your anxiety, your health, your mental wellness, your physical wellness, your spiritual wellness. You're healing some deep chironic wounds. You could start to really maybe heal your stomach area. Maybe you're healing that solar plexus area, but it's some deep chironic wounds for you around your health and well-being. And I just feel like this is going to be a time for you to really come to terms. You could kick a habit. You could kick an addiction. You could become really committed to your well-being there, Virgos. Over this starting right now, like literally right now, and going forward. And then I've got Libras. It's all around your commitment, Libra. What are you committing to? What are you wanting? What is it that's going on for you in terms of relationship commitments? And you're healing a deep wound around this. So all those single Libras are like, yes. and you're going to reemerge really looking at commitments very differently than you did in the past. Scorpio, it's all around transformation. You guys rule transformation, so I'm not worried about Scorpios because you guys are going through deep transformations in all areas of your life, that you're being elevated to that phoenix energy, right? And so shedding that chironic wound, old friends, old situations, things that you thought you had value with, and you're literally shedding. And it shows up with sex, birth, death, big family kind of stuff, big transitions in life stuff. So it's some big stuff for you guys in terms of really stepping into your new reality and stepping up. I love it. For Sages, it's going to be around your philosophy, your ethics, your conviction about things. Maybe you're going to realize maybe some belief systems just don't fit anymore, and that you really might be questioning and healing some deep wounds around maybe where some things you believed forever and you found out weren't true, and then you're healing some deep wounds around that and how you saw things, situations, people, jobs, and maybe people you put on a pedestal. Maybe you're like, maybe that pedestal was too high. And that's okay, because there's deep, deep healing going on for you guys there, Sagittarians. And then I go into Capricorns, and it's all around your reputation, your social status. You've had some deep wounds there since 2011. And it's like maybe you're going to be able to get out there. Maybe you're not going to miss opportunities anymore because you've been dealing with some backroom stuff in your own life. And so maybe that social status, but and your name, your social medias, how you're being viewed, friend, like those circles. There's some real healing there for you. And I feel like maybe having a sense of belonging too. So that's really important for little Caps. Aquarians, it's around your friends, your friend zones, your friend, who you friend zoned, who's in your friend zone, who's your best friends, who's your besties, and who's your friends. And you might have had some real pain there in the last 3 years, but I tell you, Aquarians, you're healing a huge wound around friendships. And maybe you're having some real friendships that last, that are going to revolutionize and come into your life, that friends you can depend on, and feeling like you're part of a friend's circle. And that's the best feeling. I love it. I love it for Aquarians. And then I go to Pisces, and again, you got all this Neptune, Saturn that's hiding, so no structure. So, and it's around your 12th house of consciousness, and really coming to terms with your creativity, your spirituality, who you are. It's like shedding false narratives for Pisces, and you're like, I just can't pretend anymore. And so that could shift a few realities for you, Pisces, around relationships, friendships, people. And you're just not going to play into the false narratives. And you might even maybe really get some boundaries as Saturn begins to emerge, where you're like, I have felt so, or a sense of discipline in certain area of your life where you're like, I'm going to stay very regulated and disciplined here, where I'm going to be able to accomplish something because I'm really applying myself. And so this is going to be an area for you guys in Pisces. And so the big piece for whether it's sun, moon, or rising, frustration, lack of faith, avoiding the spotlight, scrutiny, and can lead to missed opportunities. Like, I feel like rip the frickin' Band-Aid off and really let the sun in and let the air on it and let things sort of heal, because this is the time where we're going to heal. So, I mean, like, honestly, if I run into people, maybe I was mean to in grade 6 and I run into them, I'm apologizing. I'm right there. I'm like, hey, I want to heal old wounds. I want to release and let go, right? And so this is big stuff for everybody. So this next, especially with the eclipse, take a moment in that pathway of the eclipse, give thanks, ask for renewal, a collective prayer around raising our consciousness so we can be more compassionate, because we have this real sense right now of impatience and frustration around the planet. We're going to raise that vibration during this eclipse and bring that consciousness of compassion, empathy, love, and patience. Thank you. Woo, that was a lot of stuff going on this next week. Now I got Miss Shelley in Calgary, Alberta. Shelley, tell me it's you.
It's me.
I've read Shelley before. Let's get into it, Shelley. Where would you like me to begin? You have a choice. You can just give me the day and month of your birthday, or we can get into a specific area you want me to look at.
I'm gonna let you just be your magic. Do 19.
Just be magic. Okay. I'll be my magic. Okay. And so I feel like in context to the astrology I was just talking about, and you can go back and listen to it if you didn't get a chance to. I feel like right now for you, there's something very conclusive, healing. February might have been a bit of a bumpy ride. March, would have been having to move forward, would have been maybe things were on and off a table, on and off a table, like, oh, here's the piece of paper, yank, and it's yanked off the table, or here's the plan, and then it's yanked off the table, or here's the opportunity. And I feel like that's okay, because no matter what's going on around you now in terms of some uncertainty, I feel like you're going to have more clear answer after April, going into May long weekend, June 21st, into that time. I'm going to say May 21st to June 21st. There's far more clarity coming, and it's going to show up maybe in a decision that, like, I keep laughing to myself in my head because I think this. I feel like when I think of something that's on and off the table for you, like here it's on the table, oop, off the table, oop, on the table, oop, off the table. I feel like all of that was for naught, and that you're going to go back to something maybe original, and it just gets agreed and it's just done. And it happens in such a like anticlimactic way. You might be like, what? How did that happen so easy after all of that? And then I feel like this is already in motion. Like this could have been since our last eclipse, October 14th. Now we're in April. Something's coming to culmination, my girl, and I feel really happy about it. Like, finally. And then it brings me to a larger notion around you, around a move. And I feel like all the little tickers are just falling into place. Tick, 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 tick. And it's something about maybe the place that you'll move to finds you. Maybe it's like the right house or the right place comes up in a way, if it didn't recently, because I feel like something around solidifying where you live or solidifying your house is going to really show up for you by October, or whatever plans you're putting in place. Something gets really solidified by October, and I'm like, woo, woo, feels good.
Okay.
There could be, I keep hearing possibly a surprise medical procedure. It may have come up if it didn't come up in the last 8 months, I feel like there's something, or a date that you might have been waiting for a medical scan, scope procedure, and something pops up. And it's like, oh, I got to take advantage of it. Oh, I'm going to take advantage of it. Almost like it might even pop up even this month, like by the end of the month. Like if you've been on a wait list or waiting for something, I feel like something moves very quickly now. Now it's like, oh, pop, there it is, you know, in a good way.
Cool. Very good.
Okay.
I am looking
Okay.
to move.
So say that again.
I am looking to move.
Perfect. And have you been actively looking to move?
Sort of. It's more deciding where to go based on kid's situation with sports and future work.
Okay.
So I've sort of talked about like where's the good, maybe home, maybe move home.
Okay. For some reason, I feel like more west might make you happy.
Okay.
More west than where you live now. So if you're in Calgary now, it could be something that shows up for you in BC. And
Yep.
And it's so funny because I don't know that I want to say like Vancouver. I feel like I want to say maybe a smaller city in BC. Could be Kamloops, could be Kelowna, could be like a smaller city, or
Yep.
just outside. And I feel like that opportunity, again, I feel like that place is going to pick you. And if you're looking for sports work, like something that would bring you, that would bring you out there. I feel like, it's so funny because I got two vibes on that. The first vibe I got was out west and a smaller city, not necessarily Vancouver, but outside of Vancouver. The other vibe I got is someone might wind up having the opportunity to go to the US. And
Perfect.
through and I don't know that that's about maybe you and your work. I don't know that that's what I mean. I do feel like it could be this whoever's studying or whoever's in school or whoever, that there could be something that shows up for them with the US in some weird way, some connection there. Also,
Cool.
I'm going to kind of just go into one more. There's something about um, also Hawaii, maybe
Mhm.
traveling there, maybe an opportunity to go to the island. Not to, maybe if I say Vancouver Island, then okay, then I'm wrong. But west as well. There's some travel that's going to pop up for you like that I feel really happy about. Um, I do want to say one thing that I feel like might pop up for you that could feel kind of surprising is
Mhm.
where you're moving, maybe you won't feel so alone. Like maybe you won't feel so alone where you're going. Maybe it's not just a blind move, like, oh, I just want to move there. I feel like maybe people connections will already exist there or will say, hey, there's this great place for sale down the road. You should look at it. Or, you know, so it wouldn't be just an impulsive kind of thing. And I'm going to say, I feel like it's brewing this summer going into the fall. Like, I feel like it's all the little pieces are just in motion and you're going to get real answers between May and June. Okay.
Love it. Awesome.
I love you,
Looking
girl,
forward
and
to it.
hopefully we'll chat again one day soon.
I hope so too. Have a great
Take
rest
care.
of your day. Thank
You
you.
too. Bye bye. Okay, and I have a lovely lady who is joining me from Albany. I missed her name. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. Thank you so much. I'm Barbara.
Oh, Barbara. Oh, Barbara, Barbara. Okay, Barbara. Thank you for sharing that. The producer's so great, he flashes it across, but I'm busy yapping my face off and I don't pay attention. So, Barbara, my name is
Okay.
Bernice, Bernice Bisson, and how can I have about, 5 or 6 minutes. How can I help you in 5 minutes?
Well, I feel like I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm at like a crossroads. I put some things down before and I'm picking them back up and just a lot going on.
Okay, okay. Can I ask I'm going to work with your birthday around this. I'm an astrologer.
Sure.
I usually work in natal chart, whole houses, traditional astrology. If I may ask, just the day and month of your birthday, not the year.
Sure. April 19th.
Well, my Aries. Well, this is about the self. Well, you're on that beautiful cusp of fire, earth, and so you both have that.
Yes.
You probably have some of the faster moving planets, in a little in Taurus, a little in Aries, and possibly just behind you there as well in Pisces. But I want to just talk about. Uh, so I'm going to say for you coming up, the places I want you to focus is on developing relationships with people. I don't want you to
Hmm.
fall into the trap of as you go into your new direction and go into your new endeavors, I'll call it, because I feel like you're going back to old talent and bringing it in a new way. And you could be in a
Yes.
new world even with it. And I don't want you to fall
Okay.
into the trappings of, oh, I got to be the new way. No, 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 no. I want you to be authentic to how you're doing it.
Okay.
I feel like your success and your sort of endeavors, because it's more than just a business. Like it's really like even and I'm going to say a couple of areas. Like you could be taking on a new identity with family. You could be
Okay.
or a new role with your family. Maybe you're
Hmm.
like, I'm not going to allow you to wound me anymore, or I'm not going to
Yeah.
allow myself to get into those wounded areas anymore with your family, because you've always dimmed your light with your family. And I'm like, don't do that, girl. I want you to shine, shine, shine.
Nope. That's right on. Yep.
Also, the other place that shows up, it shows up with your birthday. I could talk about your birthday for an hour and a half, so I'm going to keep talking to cram a few more things in. 419. So the other thing that shows up really strong around your birthday is that, aside from that wound with family, and it's around old workplaces, old ways of working, and you know, you were probably capable of so much more, but maybe got into that, what I call the golden handcuff stuff, where you're like, oh, but I gotta have a real job. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say now you're coming into a place where your talent, your communications, your style is really important, of how you're going to present, and building networks through friends, people, like getting the right connections in industry, getting the right connections to people is going to be a real gift to you this time. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
You might have had some recent dark nights of the soul, especially with Chiron and with this eclipse coming. You still, because you have the North Node of Destiny kind of putting you into your new, and I don't want you to get discouraged by reminders, because with Mercury retrograde right now in your sign, I'm like, don't get discouraged by people being naysayers. I want you
Mm-hmm.
to be very disciplined in affirmations every day, really
Okay.
focusing on just your goals of what you're doing, because this is your year. This is you've shed sort of some of these constraints. Now I want to be a bit practical, because coming between now, this eclipse, and the sister eclipse this fall, or the sister moon this fall, I want you to make a commitment of every day to reach out to someone in what you're working in and where you're going.
Okay.
Also, there's something about, you're going to apply for money, and like, it could be a grant, an application form. It's not free money. I hope it was free money, but it wasn't. And you're going to get it. And I feel like this is where you're going to underpin some of your new endeavors, is with this little loan. And you're very creative and you're very resourceful. And you're going to even start to see some success, or maybe clients or people coming in, even in the next 4 to 5 months. Like, there's something really starting to take hold. So stick discipline to your plans. Okay.
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 Awesome.
Hey, thanks for finding me, Barbara. It was so nice to spend my time with you. And thank you, everybody, for joining me on Ask One Radio, A1R Psychic Radio, and Moonstruck Television, my weekly show. I'm Bernice Bisson, Psychic, and I just want to send love and blessings to everyone as they go through the eclipse, and that your chironic wound is in that process of healing, and I'm sending you all love and light.